Whoops, why am I doing that? Just hang on, let's do this well. I'm doing collective readings at the moment. I'm recording like collective readings for the signs. I'm not answering personal questions. If you want something answered about your love situation, I can do a personal reading for you, which would be 20 minutes just about you, for £18. I've got a link to my Etsy channel. Or at some point I'll be able to take super chats and answer questions in the lives. But you've got to have a certain number of watch hours. I've got 500 subscribers, but I need a certain number of watch hours, so I think it'll be another few months before we get there. If not, long. Just disappointing, but... Okay, spirit guides, universe and angels. Please stand beside me and guide me for Cancer's highest good. How is Cancer feeling in these final few days of April 2025 and the beginning days of May 2025 with regards to what they're thinking about or dealing with or manifesting in? Okay, so 3 cards for how you're feeling, Cancer. The 8 of Cups. There's been an ending. I think you walked away from a relationship, a long-term relationship or marriage. Eight of Cups is specifically, it's not that something just ended, it's that you left it. So if this is resonating, it'll be because you've just ended a relationship that's very long-term, very committed, very exclusive. The World reversed. Now, this is a major arcana. In the story of the major arcana, the fool realizes that he must take life's rough with the smooth and that better days are coming, though. When it's reversed, it's like glasses half empty vibes, like we become pessimistic, okay, and we don't feel like good times are coming. And that's okay, because there's clearly just been an ending here for someone. Even if you're the one that finishes it, you know, like to feel lost and unhappy. I know it's nowhere near as bad as being the person that gets, but it's not as bad as being the person that gets broken up with. It's just not. But you know, it's because you're not fulfilled where you are. So you're still feeling lost, you're still feeling distressed, you're still feeling sad. Sometimes you're both upset, even though you've caused it. Like I've, you know, been in love with someone and ended a relationship and it took me years to get over it. Like I'm still not over it, do you know what I mean? Because there were certain things that we each wanted and we were both very much in love when we split, and it was really difficult. So no judgment here. Seven of Pentacles is a reflective energy. It's looking back at what's been cultivated, what was achieved together. You are in a very reflective mood, and again, that's something natural. When you've just ended something, you're kind of assessing where you're at, what you had, what you want for the future. A lot of reflection happens, doesn't it? Let's get 3 for the one that's on your mind, or the one that you're dealing with or manifesting in. They've got the 9 of Wands. Okay, so the 9 of Wands upright is the wounded warrior. It's someone that each wand represents a challenge. And hi, Greenheart. It's a long cycle of things being difficult for a while, but being prepared to keep on going, just tough it out, yeah. Determined to just keep it going, even though it's hard work. It's near the end of a cycle. 10 of Wands would be the end of a cycle, and it can't go any more than that. So it's been a long journey, this, that's not been easy at all. Right, we've got the Devil. So you could be dealing with a Capricorn, or they could just be someone who has been toxic, or they have some sort of obsession with you, or you're obsessed with each other, or we're obsessed with each other, because there was obviously an ending here. I mean, if someone breaks up with you, I can't think about anything other than that person. So it could just be that, really. They cannot stop thinking about this, and you know, they're obsessive about it. They talk about it. They think about it. I have to do that for I just talk at everyone I know about it because I can't, you know, do it any other way. Like 5 of Wands reversed. They want to avoid either internal conflict or external conflict with others. They want to avoid that. Let's get 3 for the outcome. I think because this is fresh, I don't think you're manifesting anyone in. I think this is the person that you've split up with. Six of Swords, unfinished business, you know, not moved on, not left emotional baggage behind, because swords are thoughts and feelings, and the Six of Swords, you get in your boat and you leave the swords behind when you're moving on. But this person has not moved on, and that would be weird if they already had, wouldn't it? Because it's only just happened. But what have we got here? The Queen of Swords. That can be a divorce card in Love Tarot, but it could just be an air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. If someone who speaks with integrity, they're talking honestly, they could come off a bit factual, a bit more in the sort of scientific direction or matter of fact direction. But they're truthful, they're honest, they mean what they're saying. It's an intelligent person, and it's being thought through. You know when this person speaks that they're speaking truthfully and honestly. It's been well thought out in advance. It doesn't have to mean divorce, but I think we've got a clear separation here, so I'm going to say it does. Certainly separation of 2 people living together or married. Now they're showing up as a queen, or you're showing up as a queen because you ended it, according to this, because you've got the 8 of Cups, which is you walking away. Maybe you're the Queen of Swords. Sorry, did I say Queen of Cups? Maybe you're the Queen of Swords with that 8 of Cups being there. Could be difficult to move on if you finished it. They're showing up as the Devil, Capricorn. You could have air in your chart, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Knight of Pentacles. I mean, The Four of Wands sort of like weirdly slid out from underneath the deck there, but these kids sound so cute in the background. The Knight of Pentacles, I'm having to think about it, because the Knight of Pentacles, if that was just by itself, I would say that's someone that's going to go forwards into the future dating with a view to having a relationship, because that's what the Knight of Pentacles does. It's serious investment. When you're just dating someone, you don't know it's going to turn into a relationship or marriage, but that's the intention. With it having the Four of Wands reverse, it's like maybe they want that with you. Maybe this person wants to invest. They don't have to be Capricorn, but they could have it in their chart, or they could just be obsessing over the fact that they want to reinvest into this, or it could be you that's thinking just about dating someone else, but it's just the weird that's got like Four of Wands reversed with it. That's the Four of Wands is a home or marriage. It's stability. It's four is like four walls to a house, four legs to a chair. It's the most stable number. It's like starting over, isn't it? Like wanting to invest in something that was broken, like a broken union or a broken home, and restabilize it. It could be you wanting to move on, or it could be them wanting to reinvest in this, and you're like, no. You'll know what your situation is. Let's dig into what's been going on with them. Where are these issues coming from? Because they have got the Devil. And what have been the problems with the Nine of Wands? Public image. Worried about appearances. Can't relax, conceited. So they believe that divorce is wrong. That's why they're trying to reinvest into it. They just don't have this value that divorce is okay. They view it as a failure. They view it as giving up, weak, untraditional, unorthodox. That's not what I think. But I've grown up with a parent who'd been married before they met my dad. So that's always been a healthy conversation in our family. And she's, my mum's married to my dad many decades now. So it's not that you don't believe in marriage or that it's precious, but that she was married to a narcissist. So, the values that uphold marriage as sacred and something that should be worked upon didn't work for her. And she was in a traditional time where her parents said, you can't go back on it. We've planned the wedding, we've paid for it. People will talk about you, so that's why she stayed in it. And it didn't work well for her. He had another wife in Canada. And in the 60s and the 70s, we didn't have mobile phones, we didn't have the internet. So he had a whole other life going on. And then he tried to have her declared insane to take her house that she worked for, that she paid the mortgage for by herself. He tried to take it from her. Then he alienated her from all of their mutual friends by spreading rumours that she was using him for money. So it was a true narcissist and a liar, but he was more dangerous than just being a liar or unfair. It was someone that tried to take her own house from her. So you cannot say that marriage should not be broken. And she's still recovering from that as an adult in her 70s. And she has gone on to have, marriage and a happy marriage. So it's not that I don't believe in marriage, but I think if you're married to someone and it's toxic or you're not in love, I think you're allowed to leave. and you should get yourself safe. Number one, before anything, you have to be safe. You can't live your life for what other people think. You just cannot. And people do. They still do it now. I was so confused because I saw this one move, but it's this one that landed, isn't it? Council's compass. Seek advice to steer judgment. As insightful talks illuminate your journey. This is freaky now. Tell me this isn't freaky. They need to discuss with some different people, not the ones that have informed what they currently think, as they were growing up, but speak to some other people who are more open-minded to divorce and open to discussing different options, because to stay isn't the only option. Sometimes you can try harder at stuff and it falls more apart. That's not great English, but you get further away from what you were trying to achieve. Does that make sense? Bloody hell, listen to him. Why did that happen again at just the right time? Let's see what else we can get. I think they're just having fun in a very bossy way. Getting played, manipulation, lies, control. This could be manipulation, lies, control, getting played. They could be getting I tell you what, another thing happens to people. They get operated by a narcissistic parent. So they could believe that this marriage to you or this relationship to you benefits them, benefits their parent, benefits other people in their family, and so they try to keep hold of it. A lot of people are being operated by narcissists, okay? Sometimes, this is something new that I didn't understand before, but sometimes you have two narcissists that justify each other's behaviour. It doesn't have to be that they're a narcissist as well, though, but you understand that some people live for validation from a narcissistic parent and never get it, but it's they can't give up on that hope. They've always got that hope that the person will just start loving them. And I have dealt with a partner who had a narcissistic mother, and he never got validation. She tempted him by making him think he had it for times that suited her, and then she would disappear for really long periods. She'd come back, she'd put him down, but she was always going on about him to other people because it made her look good when she was away. So it's just using people. And he said to me one day, he said, "Why doesn't my mother love me?" So he knew. But he's actually never stopped wanting it, and it split us up because I couldn't be around it. It was toxic. But I don't, you know what I mean? I hated the fact that he picked her over me, but I've moved on to forgive that, and it's an example of how much some souls are just wanting the person that's supposed to love them, Let's get a confession from this person. Hi, Janica. I hope I've pronounced that right. Conversation is 100% healthy, and you should process all of your relationships with, I discuss them like years later with family because I need to continue to process it. And so do families. Families are really affected when you break up from someone that they've really liked or had a soft spot for. even though they accept that you're not together, like, can be hard for them because it's not something that was in their control, and then it just happened. I'm truly sorry, you deserve better. Okay, that's what your person is saying. Your person that you're splitting up from, Cancer. I've also known people who wanted to divorce, but they felt sorry for the person they were with, or they just couldn't get them out of the house, so they had to just kind of work with it. I've known lots of circumstances like that. How do you get a person to leave? They don't want to. Some people, they don't want to leave. Clock, need time, takes time, in time, cycles, time to heal, progress. So there's important changes going on here. There could be a situation where this person is being operated, and that's why they always seem to end relationships that are very serious commitments, that they seemed to be very in love, or if you ended it with them, you know, they drove you to that because they were being operated by someone, or they had strange values that they've been brought up with, or strange behaviours. They didn't have to be getting operated, but it does say manipulation, lies, control, and I don't... Oh my God, I didn't see that. Look what else came out. Yeah, I find you intimidating. I think this person, like, they don't really have a strong sense of self-worth, and I think that they were manipulated, you know, from the day that they were born. And narcissists like toddlers because toddlers, well, they like babies because they're cute, and everyone gets manipulated and they go, oh, your baby's so cute, and it gets them lots of attention. And babies want to be loved, so they can't be... they're helpless, okay? They need you, and they can't be without you. To survive, they have to be compliant with what you want. When children start to become toddlers or older or late primary, they start saying no. They learn the word no, or, you know, they want things what the way that they suit them. You know, when you get tantrums, or like they start to have a mind of their own and play with other people's families, and they see what normal family life is supposed to be like, and then they start to say, you don't treat me right, or, you know what I mean? So narcissists, like, children fall out of favor with narcissists, like, the older they get, but they're always under the control because they just want to be loved. Even as an adult, you don't stop wanting validation from parents. You crave that until you die. It's just how humans work. Very hard to give up on that. People can do, but it's difficult for them to give it up. They will be intimidated by someone who's been brought up in a way. Ooh, they will be intimidated by someone who's been brought up in a way that they have a strong sense of self-worth because they had two parents that love them. They know where they came from. They know they're loved. They know they have control over their own life, and they're respected by their parents. They're treated as special, equal, fair. They're given opportunity. They're given freedom to make their own decisions. They're celebrated for who they are, not just what they can bring to their parents. Okay. Love in this situation from a narcissistic parent has strings attached, and you have to be someone who's an overachiever. You have to bring glory to the family. It's not enough to be regular, and or not given time to grow and develop sufficiently. This person that I was involved with was treated like he was her husband and he was responsible to provide for her. And I found that really twisted, to be honest, especially after the things that I found out that were done to him as a child. I burst into tears finding out, and he didn't tell me all of it. I found out later through other people. But she allowed him to be abused by a lot of different men and never gave him a childhood. And then she expected him to provide for her, but she would actively put him down and say that he wasn't good enough. And when she had husbands, she would compare him to them and say, you can't give me what they can give me. So it was just constant abuse as a child, as a teenager, as an adult. It still happens now. I know it does. You know, good luck to him. But I lost him to her. Narcissists do something called hoovering. So they operate people who are good people, but they use them and manipulate them. Parents, children, siblings, friends, people who they're supposed to be right to, they're not, and they use them to make them look more credible, to make them look more likable, and they get them to lie for them or omit truths or hold stuff back from you, so it helps the plan come together. Yeah. No, thanks, Dad. This is sad, guys. This is sad. Yeah. Why am I putting them back? I'm distracted now. I'm reading the chat, I'm answering questions, I'm processing all kinds of stuff. There's a child screaming outside. Ace of Pentacles. And what is that over? That was over the devil. Shut up. You know what this person's trying to do? Narcissists are chaotic people, so in order to survive, they have to work and operate other people like puppets, and that gets them a roof over their heads. It gets them access to your savings, your regular income, your likability, your trustworthiness. They are approachable, nice people by association because they're associated with you now. Their family might start to think they've changed, they've got better, they've learned from the mistakes, they're not going to go back to prison, they're not going to, you know, be verbally abusive anymore, they're not going to steal from them anymore. They've changed, you know, and that's all family want, is someone to stop being who they are, but they can't. They can't. You look at the stats, 60% of people in prison are narcissists. They will go back to prison and their families will breathe a sigh of relief while they're in prison because it just means there's no drama. Be more selfish. I think this person, you know, was they were with you to obtain a house, a home, steady income, a respectable image. You think everything that you get from a functioning person, you can get a lot. I'm just plugging the charger in because I'm on no battery. Sometimes, you know, like, you view yourself as not having that much. You're like, well, I'm not a millionaire. Like, what did they think they were going to get from me? But they'll have had a few thousand from you. They'll have had a year of looking like a decent human to everyone that they know. They'll have gained trust and resources from everyone around because of association with you. They may be explaining to police, you know, that I've changed, you know, like, following my rules that I have to adhere to, and I'm set up now, and all kinds of stuff. There's so much going on in that scheming head. It's like multiple layers of spider webs in different directions. They're very crazy people. And they're not as clever as what you think. They mess up a lot. They think they're clever and you're dumb, but they're very obvious. Strange oxymoron. Strange, like, what is it when like people are two opposite things? Paradox, is that right? It's time to ground yourself. Okay, put this to bed. Through divorce, you're going to obtain balance. Look at the facts. When you get a physical distance from a narcissist, you can get your head together. When you're in their presence, you cannot get your head together at all. Because there's so much gaslighting goes on, so much lying goes on, so much like charming stuff happens. You just can't get your head together at all. And they often want to go really, really quickly, to not give you a chance to think things through. Because they know they're going to mess up and you're going to start, the mask will slip, or they'll mess up, they'll bring some sort of chaos which you don't appreciate. And, as a healthy person, you'll be like, well, that's making me question the relationship now. So they have to get things done before like 3 months or 6 months, because that's when the drama starts happening. They can keep it from you with lots of lies or being around you not that much, and then it starts to come out. You get sucked into their drama. Like, they've got drama going on everywhere, multiple countries, because what you can't see, you can't stop, or you can't be mad about, or you can't break up with them for. I'm obsessed with your body, okay, but they might try to get you to reinvest in the home that you've got together, or bring this union back together by using sex. So narcissists will use babies, they will use animals, they will use their looks. They'll try to look cute with babies and animals. They will try to prove that they're a nurturer. They're not a nurturer. If you've watched documentaries, the same people that arrive, to try, if you've seen that Nightmare Housemate program, they've abused the animals that they try to look cute with. So just remember, it's all an illusion. They're very capable of hating you, as well as professing their love for you. They're very capable of smashing up everything you've got as well. Spending all your money, cheating on you behind your back, spreading lies about you. Unfortunately, the layers and layers of damage from narcissistic abuse, they exponential. You find out more stuff after, and it's just unbelievable. But it stops you going back to them, that's for sure. Bloody hell. It's a bit of a heavy one today, this one, isn't it? Right, we've got loads here. Look, settling. Avoid settling for less than what you deserve. We've got that twice. Look, I am truly sorry, you deserve better. I find you intimidated. And then we've got settling. Avoid settling for less than you deserve. The X, healing from past heartbreak takes time, so be patient with yourself. Surprise, romantic surprises are on the horizon, be open to them. Hi, Ramo. Imperfections. Love is a beautiful mess. Embrace its imperfections. We're not saying anyone has to be perfect. We're saying we don't want a narcissist. Okay, we don't want someone who breaks the law. We don't want someone who lies, cheats, steals. Just want a normal person, right? Not someone who's perfect, but you can't change a narcissist. Sparks, keep the sparks flying, surprise each other with gestures of love. I think you've got happy stuff ahead with other people. Okay. Right, let's get a time in for when someone new is on the scene. I think you're going to need a lot of time to heal personally. It makes sense now why you had the world card reverse and you were feeling pessimistic. I think it's going to take you about 6 months to a year to get over this. The embarrassment of it, the sense of betrayal is going to be exponential because you'll feel betrayed in terms of your trust when it comes to finances. You'll feel used. You'll feel disgusted. The fact that you find out they've been cheating on you, never thought, that they would. I had someone go round telling everyone that I wasn't sleeping with them and that's why they were sleeping with prostitutes. And we were having sex a lot. So that was one of the things I liked about the relationship. And that person had the cheek to go around conveying to other people that I wasn't sleeping with. It's like, wow. And they believed it. And they told everyone that I was asking them for money. I was giving them a lot of money. So it's a bad person. They're just a prolific liar. But they lie to every person in their life. Their son, they lied to their son. They lied to me. They lied to their ex-wife. They lied to their parents. Their parents' new partners, their brothers, their sisters, their in-laws, their best friends, their work colleagues, their boss. There was not one person that was not caught in the crossfire. It affects the whole community, and anywhere this person goes, so much drama follows, so much, and he'd broken a lot of laws, like ones that are just, you don't do that. Shake that one off. When is something new going to come in for Cancer, please? If this is resonating for Cancer, when's something new going to come in? All right, looking at next year, which is good because we need time to heal. It's not the right time yet, okay? We need to recover, don't we? Because the reason that you get sent a narcissist, right, is because Spirit recognizes that for whatever reason you don't currently have many boundaries. You are very excited to be in love. You're very concerned with obtaining security, and therefore you're willing to look away from any red flags that come up, or a few red flags out of all, and let something go on too long. And so you're supposed to lose money, you're supposed to get lied to, you're supposed to have lines crossed, boundaries crossed, to force you. It will keep getting worse and worse, and you'll get betrayed in so many different ways by this person until it ends, because you'll get pushed to the point where you have to create boundaries or put boundaries back in place, or just get this person out of your life or get away from them, because you are not ready for a healthy relationship. So it's not that you deserve it because you're a bad person, but it's to make you put some boundaries in place where maybe you didn't have any, or they had got lowered. You'd lowered your guard. So Spirit wants you to put your guard back up, not to stop everyone from coming towards you, but to filter out the crap, basically. So next year we're looking at, well, it's very straightforward, this one. Let's get you some advice. A way to recognise a narcissist, a true narcissist, is when you want to get emotional support from them because something bad has happened to you and you start crying, they'll start crying. They mirror your emotions back to you rather than being strong and being there for you and soothing you and helping you. You know, like if you work in a nursery or you've ever seen in a park, like a group of babies are there and one baby starts crying, so the others start crying. That's what a narcissist will do. It's really weird, but it's a form of manipulation. They're not actually sad. They're just copying what you're doing. It's really, really weird and it's annoying. Creator and alchemy, nice. So this is about having a really nice 6 months, 8 months to sit and have a think. What do I want for myself? What kind of future do I want? What are my goals? What would the most beautiful, peaceful life look like for me that I can dream up? And then you start visualizing it and you start saying out loud, Spirit, I would absolutely love to have a house that has these qualities or that is in this location. I would absolutely love to have a person that has these qualities. They're reliable, they're trustworthy, they have healthy attachment, they also like animals, or general qualities. But it's a time to really have some contemplation and careful thinking, but then asking out loud, because your angels aren't allowed to interfere. And if you don't know what you want, how can they arrange it for you? But in about a year's time, you'll start to see some of this come into fruition. Of course, we can never make one specific person, an individual, be with us. You must not ever try to force someone to be with you. Relationships, friendships, their choice, and we can't control anyone else's life, but we can ask for someone with similar qualities to a person, or we can say, if I'm meant to be with this person, please, remove blocks. And if they want to be with me, I think that's okay to say that. Oh, we didn't get the mermaid one, did we? Sea melodies. Any advice for Cancer, please? Right, Spirit's got a couple of things. Let's do one at a time. So we've got listen. The secrets of the sea become apparent when we listen to the sounds within the shells. Take your time to let people reveal who they are. Okay? It's just like I said earlier to Gemini, if someone's a good person and they recognize your value, you'll know that from the beginning, and they'll be reliable, trustworthy. There will never be any drama. They will not leave you in any doubt how they feel towards you. But if someone's love bombing you, consider that they could be a narcissist. If they're over the top, if they ring you night and day, if they seem like they're addicted to you, it's not that they're controlling you. They don't want to let go of you because they need you to do what they've got planned. Okay, they're being possessive over you. It's different. If you start to see dramatic events happen within 3 months to 6 months, take it as your life is going to get worse the longer you're with them. Okay, you won't see drama with a good, healthy person. Wild. Believe in your otherworldly beauty and dance with the waves and drink in the sunshine. Okay, so you've got to set your heart free and your mind free and your body free from this net that you've been trapped in. Yeah, so that okay, so for example, the kind of things that this person would do was they would get into really big fights with multiple people, and their wallet was stolen. You know, their teeth were like, I mean, their mouth had been punched over and over, they'd been left for dead. Now, he told me that he just got robbed, but I, looking back, don't believe anything that he said because everything was a lie. Um, when I spoke to, you know, mutual acquaintances of his, everything was a lie that he told me ever. So, where it was never his fault, he probably crossed someone with drugs or money or infidelity or he got involved with someone he shouldn't have. He was underage, so I suspect one of the times that he was beaten was for that. They don't have boundaries, they don't follow rules, that's why they go to prison and they end up back in prison. Okay, so you know if you've got a narcissist because the things you find out disgust you, they're deplorable. Okay, they're nearly getting killed or murdered like every like few months because of the things that they're doing are despicable and unforgivable. People want them dead. Okay, he took money from his father's business and ran off with it. He lied about serving for his country. Um, he lied about his father's new partner. He had his son selling drugs. I just like I can't tell you the stuff that went on. Like I only found out the tip of the iceberg because someone else told me. He never told me the truth about anything. And I never would have got involved with anybody like that. So, and he knew that obviously, so that's why I never found out. But this is what I mean is like the betrayal is like I don't speak to any of his friends or family because they were not allowed to tell me the truth about him. And it's a very violent person, so they can't tell me the truth about him. But one person that's not afraid of him, that in some ways was trying to help because it's an in-law, he told me the truth. Okay, and he said, look, I've known him all his life, this is just who he is, he's not going to change, and these are all the things that he's been doing behind your back. And it was just disgusting. And when I spoke to other people, he just went on and on. So I know it's true. I know this person wasn't having me on, like, he's in jail now. So, you're being asked to get out there and enjoy your life, but also think very carefully what it is that you want and ask for it out loud. That's how you manifest. You picture it and you ask out loud and you say, Spirit team, this is what I want. Angels, this is what I want. And they will get to work for you. But it takes about 12 months to see the results of that because it involves external realities changing, everything clicking into place. Okay, like what's going on in organisations, the housing market, you know, employers, things like people going on maternity, loads of stuff has to click into place and get aligned. So it can't be on a known time frame. It's just in about a year you start seeing it come into fruition. I know because I've done it. So where I used to be confused by how you manifest, I've actually done it now. So yes, I believe in it. And I learned because I read about it, right? So this is the book that I read when I was on holiday and it's dead short. It's actually about the clairsenses. And I've learnt some stuff from Empress of Energy, who's a tarot reader. And she told me what to say. Just in general readings, not like one-to-one readings. And then, you know, you have to ask your angels. This book tells you about all the chakras. It tells you about all the angels linked to each chakra, because there's about 3 or 4 angels for each chakra. A lot of people know about Archangel Michael, but he's only one of like many angels. And they're not allowed to interfere unless you ask for help. Okay, but the secret to being abundant is you've got to have an open heart and you have to have some sense of security. You have to work hard Um, because the chakras work in alignment with each other. So this is the wrong way up. It should be like this. Your root chakra at the base of your spine. It all starts here. Okay, so you provide yourself with material security. That helps you to feel more creative, more sexual. You get more confident then, more assertive, okay? You become a person who's able to forgive and have compassion for others and charitable. You're able to voice how you feel, and then you're able to trust your instincts, and then you're able to have this like all-knowing like connection to spirit. And it's like when you can't forgive or you hold grudges, you know, you clog up this chakra. It stops. They're all like cogs that are spinning, or little wheels that are spinning, and these ones have to spin to get the next ones to spin, you know, and so on. And so if you've got like a poor financial situation or you have no stability, it's very difficult to feel horny or feel passionate or feel like you're ready for children because you don't have that nest. And so that, you know, you hear it all the time, doesn't it? Affect fertility when you don't have security. Of course, there's other reasons for that, but generally we feel like everything's coming together because all of these are functioning. What do I want to say? Encumbersome with one another. And when everything's going well, you have a lot of powers of manifestation, lots of ability, because you're kind of protecting yourself, you're thinking things through, you're working hard, you're being honest, you're forgiving, you're letting go, you're healing, and you're able to, you know, read tarot and channel stuff and help people because you live in a fulfilled life. I don't really know how to explain it any more than that, but you lose your powers sometimes to have faith that everything's going to be all right because you've been screwed over, you've been cheated, you know, you've been taught not to trust, you've been betrayed. So this ability to advocate for yourself goes down, 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 and it affects everything. So finance and security is very important for the rest of this. But anyway, that's me going on about. I love learning about the chakras. Absolutely love it. These are like things that you can do that are supposed to help activate your chakras. But I would say just take care of house, you know, like have time to heal, treat people right, work hard, make sure you do things that leave your heart fulfilled, and all will be well. Especially if you read about the chakras and you read about your angels and you read about spirituality, you'll connect with it more, you'll recognize it more, and you'll be trusted with more powers, like more clairsenses, you know, because how can you operate it if you don't recognize it, if you don't educate yourself about it, if you don't believe in it? That's like, you know, jumping in a car and saying I don't need any lessons or I don't need to know how it works. You don't know what you're looking for when you're trying to operate the pedals or like the knobs and buttons, so you're not going to be able to get it moving, are you? Learning to drive is an ordeal, but it's one of the best things to do because once you can, anytime you try something that involves a lot of skill or learning a lot of different things at once, like training to teach or anything that's difficult, because you're using a lot of working memory, you know that you can do it even if it's hard. It's a good milestone, a good thing to look back and I think I learned to drive so I can do this. Okay, so we're going to be moving on to, I'm just checking the battery to see it is charging up while I'm on the live, yeah. So we're going to be moving on to Leo. I won't be able to do readings next weekend, so these ones are very long, like up to an hour per read, because next weekend I'm away for my birthday, so I'm just gonna have to skip a week because I work full time as a teacher. So if I was home, like I'm normally home, so I do readings, but I won't be able to. It's just not gonna be possible. It's a big birthday as well. It's the big 40. Life begins at 40. I don't know why people say that. I'd like it not to have all been a waste. Maybe it's because you just know more and you have more at 40, so you get more. I don't know. Why does life begin at 40? I don't know. You know what I might do? I might do Leo and then Virgo, and then like you get showered and stuff. Because I feel a bit like I just need to move around and like have a freshen up. I could do like half, couldn't I? And then do another half.